Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Marcus here again. This is just a continuation of a video I was producing for you a moment ago, and I ran out of tape. So I'm going to catch up with that. And I'm referring to this time now that we're going through when it seems as if something miraculous happening has occurred, that right now, all over the nation, all over the world, in fact, people are getting a chance to see what ugly looks like, to see what evil looks like. And it is perpetuated through killing, hurting, causing, and nasty talk, and wanting to be superior to others. I mean, all of that, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are, you know, if you want to be superior to another person, it's got to be because you don't know God. It has got to be. Because if you knew God, you would know that God didn't make you superior to anyone. God didn't make you superior to your sister. God didn't make your mother superior to you or you superior to your mother. But he gave both of you responsibilities. And as a family, he gave you responsibilities. In a family, everybody, especially when you're growing up, everybody has shelter. If anybody does, everybody does. Well, that depends upon where you're living at. Everybody had food. When the breakfast table opened up, except those poor people, you know, sometimes the mother had to not eat just so the kids could eat. But it is understood that everybody would share in these things. People would share in what is required to be able to meet these needs. Everybody would. Now that's just your one family. Somebody has said that the Creator has close to 8 billion people. They're all tied up in different families, but they're all the children of the one that put them here. That has provided that they could live with their dreams being realized while they're in these bodies. Not to hate, not to kill, not to take. And even you who do these things, who kill, who take, those of you who go into the military and willing to kill just because of somebody tell you. Look at our military right now. Our military is armed to the teeth. We got the materials and we got the bodies to pull the trigger. And look who we got in the White House, who could give that order to pull the trigger, to push the buttons. Who we got in that White House. And if that order was given under the same kind of pretext of the bigotry and the racism and the hatred that is embodied in that voice that's in the White House, and the soldiers just following orders, do it, what's their excuse? My God told me to? Or I was taught by my God or about my God that if somebody in power, those that supposedly have rule over me in a society, gives me an order, I'm supposed to follow it. Is that your excuse? You would go and blow another man's head off because somebody gave you an order? How would you feel knowing that that same man that you're about to blow his head off got to you first and was going to blow your head off because somebody told him? Don't know you. You never did anything to him. You never even know anything about him or he know anything about you. But he was given an order to blow your head off. How does that make you feel? Well, it's the same feeling on both sides. And how can you be sure that a nut case is not the one that's given the order to pull the trigger? How can you be sure? You can be sure. But in order to be sure, you got to stop being a nut. You got to stop being a nut case. You got to wake up. You got to have some civility in your own head. You got to have a heart. You got to have a connection that you are not God, and whoever is running the show around here is not God either. And that is who you give your allegiance to is God. And as long as whoever's trying to run the show around here is connected with God, aligned through what you do or what you can give into, it's fine. But the moment that stops, that stops. You don't obey a person just because he's a president or just because he's a police or just because he says he got some authority. Nobody got authority over a man of God but God. If you yield into any of these situations of the human system, you do so because it's all right. You do so because it's not violating the rights of life. But you're not going with it because they got some power. They have no power over you. The power is in what's right, and it is lost when it comes down to what's wrong. What's going on in the world today, ladies and gentlemen? Your president in the United States of America is not trying to help you. The president of the United States is here to do exactly what he's doing. To divide the American people. To mess them up. To have the devil believing that its actions is of God. Are of God. That's what the devil's business is. And so you got people on the right and people on the left, each claiming that they're serving a God. And they each are. And they might just be serving the same God. Because this much I can tell you. If there are those who are for the real God, and I'm talking about for the real God, I'm not talking about mixed up. I'm not talking about standing on here because this is a lesser evil. No, my friends. I'm talking about real God, serving the real God. You can count on God to help you. But those of you who are playing games, you got to help yourself. You got to help yourself because you're fake. Look, those who are not faking it, they have made a decision. They are a church without spot or wrinkle. They are the ones that's ready to receive the blessings of God. They are. Somebody say, you can't earn it. You're a damn lie. You might have missed it. You played on a team before and you weren't that good. You played on a team, you might have to sit on the bench. But depending upon how important it was to you, you gave it what was required to get up off that bench. You gave it what was required to get into the game. You gave it what was required to get the ball. For them to trust you. Because they believed that you would give it everything you got. That's when God stepped in there for you. When you decide that this bull out here ain't nothing but straight up bull. When you decide that Donald Trump ain't nothing but a bunch of junk. When you decide that Putin is nothing but a bunch of junk. That dude is who in China, a bunch of junk. Every country in the world, in Israel, everywhere, the leaders are nothing but a bunch of junk. Pure D junk that the people are following. And this junk got support. Miraculous support. As I said, they'll pull a trigger and kill you. This is how you know that junk is controlling them and not God. I come to tell you about God. Now, here's what history will teach you. There are those that will be totally committed to God and whether they die to prove it. Not to kill, but to die to prove it. There are those who are not, they're not serious about God at all, beyond what they can use God to get. And the killing part about it is that many of them think that they are really serving God, and how they have tricked you is the way that they believe God blesses them. They don't think they are messing over you really. They think God has given them the sign of what to do to get from you so that it can bless God's work. What happens is they forget that God's work is beyond their work. So the money that they give you stop with them. So now all of a sudden they are speaking for God. They have replaced God. And the reason I say to replace God, because they're not now on God's agenda. They got their own agenda. The mega churches got their own agenda. The billionaires got their own agendas. The Oprah Winfrey's and all the stuff that got these people where they're at. I'm not saying it wasn't legal. Hey, owning slaves were legal. Hanging them were legal. Committing war and genocide on people, legal. But that didn't make it right. But it's legal. Legal says it's okay. You can get away with it. This devil will let you get away with it. So all your rich trillionaires and billionaires in this world are there because their devil has allowed them to get away with it. Their devil has blinded the people. The people don't know any better. The people are used to do whatever the devil wants them to do. And these who are billionaires and trillionaires are the ones who have been blessed by this devil. Now, am I saying that they're demonic? Yes and no. They are demonic in that they are playing the role that meets the devil's agenda. But they don't know it, which means that it is still the responsibility of God to, because of love, to show them, to share the information with them in words. That's what I'm here doing today, in words. The young lady, God forgive me because I can't remember her name, but I'm in a sense kind of glad I don't remember her name, because she's only one of the many, many, many who have been killed by the devil trying to spread his message of hate. And this was happening in Charlottesville, Virginia. And that was wiped because of what it was added to the next couple of days. Wow. This is something else. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, what I really want to leave with you is this. Politicians, you heard me what I said about the military guys pulling the trigger, don't care who told them to. If they had the superiority over them, they pulled the trigger. You, so concerned about your job, so concerned about your future, that you have been bought, whether with money or whether just the desire to stay in your position, that you will stand up and bow down for the devil. Many of you know that exactly what's going on in the White House is as evil as it possibly be. And you said privately, but why should I say this and lose my job if people don't vote for me? Hey, these people who will not vote for you are the same people that want Donald Trump to succeed. These are the same people that want hate to go along. And they want you to stay in a position to champion it as well. I don't know what to say about that. That's you. Bye-bye.